Editor Juan here. I want to preface this video, first of all, by thanking each and every one of you who has decided to take time out of their day and tune into this very rough draft. I am extremely new to this, other than some videos I uploaded in what feels like another lifetime of some mobile game I've played before. I have zero experience in anything to do with video production, performance, and the like. Just somebody that is very excited to play this new version of the game that we've been seeing these past few months. I have very high hopes for the future of RS3, a game I have loved for decades now, and so I want to share this experience with you guys. I cannot stress enough how rough this first iteration of the series is going to be. Any imperfections you might see, please forgive them, but also call them out. I want to know what I can do to improve, but it is not your job to help me improve. I will do that. I will get better as I go. This is just something that, again, I'm really excited to do, and so I'm going to do my best at it. All you guys have to do is sit back and hopefully enjoy, but let me know what you think. Just jumping back in with another preface. What you're about to see are, for the most part, raw, unedited clips with just some trimmings here and there. But this is my very first attempt at a video like this, so I do want to try to curb some confusion ahead of time by laying out the ground rules for this account. If you watch the video, you're going to see my progression, my thought processes, and my initial drafts for these different sections that I'm showing on the screen now. But this is the final product. This is what my account is going to look like, the rules, goals, and different restrictions I have placed upon myself. You guys are free to read through it, pause, or just continue with the video, and you will eventually get to the same end result along with me. Hey guys, my name is Juan, and welcome to my first ever YouTube series, Hogstuck. As you can guess by the name, this is a hardcore Ironman that will be locked into this brand new island called Havenhythe in Runescape 3. Some goals for the account: max every skill that can be maxed in this island with as minimal interactions as possible with the mainland. As you can see, I got my starter shrimp, bronze dagger, and quest completions are 0 apart from Visions of Havenhythe. So I want to complete all the content that can be completed on this island. With a little asterisk, I am potentially giving myself 5 get out of jail free cards. Maybe not 5, maybe 3, maybe none. But for instance, one thing I would like to do is unlock Slayer, because of the brand new Slayer mobs that were released with this update. They are level... Where are you? I could have sworn they were 35. Oh, here we go. 28 sanguine crawlers. But there's no Slayer Master on Havenhythe. So, if I really want to complete everything that can be done here on this island, I would need to figure that out. Or wait until they release a new Slayer Master with the upcoming expansions, which again is a possibility, and so I really want to see what can be done without leaving the island first. Because once I start giving myself reasons to leave, then it's a snowball effect, and I don't want that to happen. I want this to be a genuine region locked Ironman, hardcore Ironman. I've had a hardcore before, but I was young and afraid, and I gave up on it. I have a 23-year-old max main, nowhere near comp, nowhere near even halfway to comp, and I have a 3-year-old Ironman with quite a few 99s and a Questscape. So I have some experience. I am nowhere near the top, nowhere near even like top 50% of players. I am a very casual RuneScape enjoyer, but this new expansion has got me very excited to see what it's like to experience RuneScape from the beginning once more, with the added twist of being region locked. Never gonna do Necro, Dungeoneering, or Divination, right? Which means I also will never have access to invention perks. There are some archaeology nodes here, and they're releasing a new archaeology dig site later on. So this may be one of those kind of like Slayer, where if I really want to experience the full scope of this island, I may need to venture out into the mainland to unlock archaeology. Bare minimum requirement to start leveling it here. Right now it looks like 29 is the minimum level I need. But again, before I do that, before I mess with Slayer, in order to complete this log, I want to do everything else that I can. I want to get a full set of Apex armor from the Big Game Hunter. I want to complete the Ivar boss log. I want to level every skill that I can to 99, 110, 120, whatever the cap is. Right? Complete every quest, every achievement. I may have to use one of those cards for these trees, but I am a long way away from that. I'm very excited. If anyone starts watching this, hopefully you guys do. You guys can chime in. Feel free to give any suggestions. If you think I'm making it too easy on myself with those get out of jail cards, let me know. Again, the reason why I went with the name Hogstuck, well, first of all, Hog Locked was taken, but the ultimate goal of this account is to take on RuneScape's most challenging boss yet. Where are you? Silverquill the Dreadhog. and complete his collection log, which is getting the pet, right? Just getting the pet. But before I even enter his arena, I have to complete every single thing that can be completed on this island. So, without further ado, welcome to Hogstuck. I hope you guys watch. It's gonna be very fun, and I'll see you guys later. Now, one thing I forgot to mention: if I am to be successful, I need to be able to train Hunter. Right now, as far as I am aware, on this island, the minimum level I will need is 5 to start doing birdhouse runs. And I do not think there's anything here that I can use to get to level 5, except potentially the lamp that you can find randomly from these trees throughout this area. So I'm gonna take some time, try to get that lamp, and then I'll let you guys know what I'm talking about. See you in a bit. So, funny story, I have not trained my combat at all. And these wolves are surprisingly strong for being level 11. I nearly got 4 shot trying to get to that tree down there. I might do some combat training, or I might stick to the 3 trees up here. There's a bear. He's left me alone for the most part, but I'm gonna make sure I steer clear of him as well. Otherwise, this is going to be a very, very short run. Alright, so I was cutting trees, waiting for the logs to respawn, and I got an oaken key. So let's see what we get. Alright. Useless, but it's something. Back to hunting for the lamp. Alright guys, I got the lamp. Now the moment of truth. Is this gonna work? So, what I'm trying to do right now is see if the moths will actually catch themselves when they get attracted by the lamp. Even though I don't meet the level requirement for them. Don't think it's gonna work, but we'll see. If it doesn't work, I have a couple other ideas that are gonna suck, but that is the life we have chosen. So I will report back in a moment. Alright guys, I believe this is the completion of the introductory quest to Havenhythe. So I am now officially a member of this community and will remain so for the entirety of this account. we've got a plan to start our hunter training. Before that, I am gonna start doing some combat training, and my next hurdle, I guess, is magic. I really enjoy magic. I've been doing a lot of that on my main iron, and it would be nice to be able to use it here, and I have to level it at least to 33 in order to complete the Whiz Kid. So I gotta start hunting for ways to acquire some runes. In the meantime, I'm gonna level my other combat styles. My ultimate goal is Apex, so ranged will most likely be my primary combat method, which is a bit exciting because I haven't really used ranged all that much. The meta was ranged for a long time, and all the switches and bolts and stacks and all the different bits and bobs that I've seen people use at the end game level was very daunting, and so I have mainly stuck to necromancy and mage, and we're gonna change that with this account. But I would like to still get some mage levels, just because it is fun to use and it is convenient in some aspects. There's a couple skills like high alchemy really. That's about it, I guess, but it's useful and I like it. So I'm gonna see what I can do to gather some runes. I also just need to get my combat levels up so I can survive the island. There's a lot of decently leveled creatures scattered throughout that I need to be able to walk around comfortably in order to complete the different tasks that I have set out for myself. I gotta work a few things out on production side. I've never really done a project like this. I'm excited, and this is gonna be fun. I really hope to continue this series. I know it's a bit janky. I know this episode is going to be low quality as far as production and just the train of thought through the different videos or clips. I'm gonna be practicing a bit more. I'm gonna be learning and seeing how I can improve. I've been getting a couple levels, just doing a couple things here and there throughout town while I figure out my course of action. I got the lamp, but it didn't work, so not sure how I'm gonna get hunter experience to get to level 5. Hey guys, it's the next morning now since I created the account. We're back with just a quick little update. I haven't really done much on this account since making it yesterday. Got some thieving levels and I've started to progress more on the initial quest. Ran into a few hiccups that I really needed to figure out before I decided whether to continue with this challenge or not. But luckily I found a solution. I tried a couple things. I went and almost died trying to get this lantern, but that didn't work. Then I tried placing bird traps, because I know for some traps you can place them and get 1 XP, and I figured I could spam that to level 5 hunter, but no, bird traps do not work for that. And so I kind of ran out of ideas on how to get to that level 5 hunter for birdhouses. But I was watching somebody stream, and in their chat another viewer mentioned that they were making a similar challenge run. They have a chunk lock account that starts in Havenhythe, and they reminded me of our little buddy, the Tool Leprechaun, hanging out in this farm over here. And as you guys know, the Tool Leprechauns give you access to a mini game called Vinesweeper, which is not on the island. It will take you away from the island, but my main rule is no mainland. And Vinesweeper is not on the mainland as far as I know. So I think for the purposes of this account, it should be fine to use Vinesweeper. There's a very terrible hunter method there involving rabbits. So I'm only going to do it for level 5 hunter. May need to use it for farming here and there, but I doubt it. There's a lot of ways to get seeds on this island. There's also Puro Puro. I have seen the cyclones and the hayfields around here. So I could go to Puro Puro to hunt some implings, but I'm not that worried. Once I get level 5 hunter, there are plenty of ways to level my hunter on this island, with the eventual goal of hunting the new big game creatures for their apex hides, which I will then need to craft a full set of apex armor with, at which point I then can complete my ultimate goal of killing the silver quill for their pet, or the full boss log. I'm a long ways away from that, but let's start chipping away. In the next clip, I do want to go over the account goals in more detail, what I plan to get to 120, 110, 99, and what skills I don't plan to level at all at the moment. I mentioned potentially using 5 get out of jail free cards, and I believe that is the best way to go about it. I may not use all 5, and I do have to really think about what each card means. How strong should I make it? How weak should I make them? Should I even do these get out of jail free cards at all? Hey guys, we're back. It's a few seconds for you guys, but it's been a couple hours for me. I've been doing a lot of research and also recording and re-recording this clip, but here goes. We've got the ground rules, ultimate goal achievement, and just overall plans for this new account that we have created here. Again, this is Hogstuck, my hardcore Ironman, and the ultimate goal for this account is the whole hog achievement. But in order to access this silver quill boss fight, I must first complete a list of tasks. So I cannot even enter the boss fight to begin to hunt for the log until I first complete all of my skill goals, acquire the skill pet for every single accessible skill, complete all Havenhythe achievements and quests, including the deboned achievement, saving the Haven achievement, and it should have been called Chinskin achievement. Saving the Haven is a bit of an asterisk. I will go over it a little bit more during my skill goals, but this does require Slayer, and Slayer is currently a skill that cannot be trained if we are to follow the rules of this account. Obviously no deaths. I am a hardcore Ironman and I want to keep it that way. If I die, the run is dead because I already have a regular Ironman that I have dedicated over 3 years to, and I do not plan to continue this account should it lose its hardcore status. No mainland access unless we have specific conditions provided by the get out of jail cards. Other islands and realms accessible without mainland access are permissible, such as a Minesweeper minigame. And this is a brand new expansion with more expansions on the way, so this list will include any new content that is completable, because I will definitely not be done with this run before Jagex releases the rest of Havenhythe. So more on that as we see more. Now, what are these? Skill goals and get out of jail free cards. For my skill goals, we've got 120 attack, strength, ranged, magic, thieving, farming, and herblore. Magic, you can kind of see my train of thought as I was going through this one, but eventually I did find a way to train it without using a get out of jail card. Right, I got hill giants, goblins, and Ivar. Between the three of these enemies, I have access to every rune except for Astro and Soul, which I don't need, so I can train magic. That said, I'm gonna go over a get out of jail card that I created later on. Herblore, again, I was considering a get out of jail card for it, but I did discover that you can buy plant cure from the tree farmer, which you can then empty to get vials, which you can fill with water, and then use the various herbs and drops found on Havenhythe through seeds and PBM in order to train herblore. Very slow, very time consuming. Same for magic, same for a few of these skills, but again, that is the name of the game when you create these kinds of accounts, so we just gotta get her done. For 110s, we got mining, smithing, crafting, fletching, wood cutting, hunter, and fire making. All of them perfectly fine, no issue. There is plenty of content throughout the entire skills to make these somewhat enjoyable. For wood cutting, I'm planning to use a card to acquire the eternal magic trees. For 99s, we got hit points, agility, defense, fishing, cooking, prayer, and summoning. Agility is a little hard. I wasn't finding anything until I looked a little closer at the Minesweeper minigame. This place really does save lives. Climbing over this style gives you 2 experience every time. So I can spam this agility shortcut until I get to level 11, at which point I can hop over to the Windowwick River log. At 27, I access the stepping stones. I don't know if these give experience or not. I haven't really checked them because I can't hop over those on this account. But if I cannot use these two, then I'm stuck here at the styles, gaining 2 experience every jump until level 80, at which point I can barehand catch the moths, which are actually really good XP, comparable almost to the Heffen agility course. So once I get to 80, smooth sailing from there. especially since I did risk my life getting that lamp. Defense, fishing, cooking, prayer, and summoning are fine if slow. Skills that I will need to use cards for if I choose to unlock are Slayer and Archaeology. I'm going to unlock Slayer most likely, as well as Archaeology, but we are going to wait until we see the rest of the expansion before we decide what kind of commitment we'll make into these skills, if any. And skills that are 99% sure that we are not going to train at any point are Dungeoneering, Divination, Invention, and Necromancy. We already know how to access Necromancy, and there is no real way to include this. I would need to burn all of my cards on it, and it's not really fun, right? And to be honest, this goal isn't that difficult. If I unlock Necromancy, I mean, none of this matters. It just makes it way too easy. Same for Invention, Divination, Dungeoneering. I mean, I don't need Dungeoneering at all. There's no way to justify going out of my way to train this or Divination, which means Invention is locked out as well. Get out of jail cards. What are these? I have 5. Currently I am locked in on 2. So I have 3 open spots that I have not created yet. And I won't really commit to anything for these 3 until we see what Slayer and Archaeology will look like later on. But the first card is Port Sarim Magic Shop. It'll let me buy runes and low level magic robes. I'll still need to earn GP to maintain the upkeep, but before I can access this shop, I need to get 120 attack, strength, ranged, and just for lows, 99 defense and prayer. Until then, the only way I have to train magic is by killing monsters for their rune drops. Magic isn't really that necessary for this challenge. My goal is ranged, but it would be nice. I like magic, but in order to access it really, this is what I have to do. And then Eternal Magic Tree saplings. These would be nice to have for the birdhouses and just very chill AFK woodcutting training. But in order to unlock it, I need 110 woodcutting crafting, 101 hunter, and just for added challenge 100 farming. Until I get those, I will not have access to the Eternal Magic Trees. So there you guys have it. This is the full rundown of what I am attempting to do with this account. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, tell me if you hate it, tell me if you love it, whatever you got, I want to hear it. And see you guys next time. I was just doing some fletching and wood cutting. I'm trying to get 10 fletching to start on those birdhouse runs, but I did get 3 more Oaken keys. And I was looking at the wiki, and among the possible loot is an offhand dragon longsword. Could be a main hand, not sure. I think we're still a bit early in the release to know exactly what is in these chests, but a tier 60 weapon sounds like probably best in slot, for melee for this account, so let's see how lucky we are. Ooh, I know you can also get rune hatchets, but I mean I'm not getting this anywhere else, so definitely nice. And finally, we'll take it. No dragon, but that adamant hatchet is definitely clutch for later. Just doing some mining here, getting a few levels, trying to upgrade my setup. I'm currently rocking bronze, but once I get back from this trip, I should be able to upgrade to iron. I did just want to say real quick, I definitely missed getting all these constant achievement notifications, all those feel good chemicals associated with it. I am having fun with this, and who knows, I am wondering what I would do once I accomplish my goals. If I ever do, eventually I should, right, as long as I don't die. But yeah, once Havenhythe is completed, what happens? Just ramblings of a madman. Clicking these rocks is a little intense. And I guess on that topic, do you guys bother with this tick perfect mining? My main iron, I don't really. Plus, with the potions and the jujus and the spirits, you can pretty much full AFK any rock. But look, if I don't tick perfect, I get what? That's 3, 4, 5 swings, and I'm out of stamina. It's a little annoying, but once I start leveling, I doubt I'll really care as much as I do now. But I am trying to get up there in levels as quickly as possible, and Copium says clicking the rock and keeping the bar full makes it faster. So until I get bored of it, that's what I'll do. Day 2 has been pretty exciting. I don't know how many clips are gonna make it into the final video, but on paper it's not that impressive. I did get most of the levels needed to start my hunter grind. All I'm missing is level 5 crafting, and then I can make birdhouses and get started on hunter. I was looking through the different facilities available and all the different loot tables that I can access on Havenhythe, and I came across a glaring flaw in my plan. Take a look at big game hunting. I don't know how many of you thought of this from the beginning, but I don't really do a lot of it, and I've had Max Slayer on my main accounts for a long time, so I never thought of it. But yeah, there is a Slayer requirement to the big game hunting creatures, so that means I will have to use a card on Slayer. Once I realized that, I started deep diving and trying to work out as many of the kinks as I could find, and I believe I have reached a final stage, a final conclusion. End all be all, these are the rules and objectives of the account. As you can see, I've made a few changes, or maybe you guys can't tell, but I'm going to go over what I've come up with. Overall goal, still the same, whole hog achievement. In order to access the fight, I must first complete this list of requirements. I added, it should have been called Ancestral because I realized on the drop tables for the chins, we do have the starflower seeds. So I can make the tier 90/99 equivalent of Apex armor for mage. I also added the rules for the get out of jail cards. These are locked in, non-refundable. I cannot take these back starting now. But I did change the first one, and I added a couple. Instead of the Port Sarim shop, I went ahead and added the Wicked Hood unlock, which gives me access to rune crafting as a trainable skill. I'll be confined to the facilities and shops within the tower walls, meaning Runespan, GOP, and Altar teleport tabs, which are purchasable through the Runespan and GOP, as well as the Pure Essence mine through Wizard Sagrador, I believe. One of those guys. The unlock requirements are the same, 120 max combat besides magic, because unlocking this will give me a way to max magic more efficiently. If we go back here, I did finally make it past the hill giants. I leveled up my combat enough to wear full iron +1, so I'm a lot tankier than I was at the start. I am no longer scared of the wolves or the hill giants. The bear is still pretty tough, but now that I'm here, I have access to a couple more shops. But the main thing is I did some combat and I realized that while I do have access to rune drops from the various loot tables, they are few and far between. We're gonna head back over to Havenhythe Bank so you guys can see just how sad the loot is. Which, again, I'm not scared of it, but we do have those GOJ cards, and I feel like it adds a little bit of spice to this challenge that would otherwise be a little monotonous. It's still going to be very monotonous. I'm going to struggle to find a way to entertain you guys, but yeah. In all my combat training, this is the runes that I have to show for it. Can cast a couple of water strikes and that's about it. Yeah, so with that get out of jail card, eventually I will be able to train magic a lot more efficiently, as well as rune crafting. And I also added this fun little rule: 5 pets can substitute the unlock requirements for one GOJ. I went ahead and counted them out, but then I added this, so I actually have 24 trainable skills. Meaning if I get Ivar and every single one of these skilling pets, I'll be able to unlock all 5 cards without having to do any of these unlock requirements. But skilling pets are very hard to get, so I will need a lot of luck to get that done, and most likely I'm gonna have to grind out these requirements. So what are the new cards? We've got, again, Wicked Hood. I've added the Slayer Masters, Jacqueline, Turel, Maskna, and Vanica. These are the only ones accessible without quests, as well as the only masters that provide tasks which can be done on Havenhythe. And the Grim Reaper himself, but only for Ivar assignments. If I get any other task, I must skip it using points or Turel. If I go to Turel to skip, I might end up having to do one of his tasks, because you can't skip a Turel task. And so I'm gonna have to just tough it out there. I believe they are all completable within the birth rope area. Any loot I obtain from those tasks must be dropped. If I get a pet while on these tasks, I have to destroy it. Unlock requirements: 100 KC on Ivar, as well as the completion of his log. All accessible Havenhythe achievements. This means completing the Eternal Saplings requirement in order to plant the trees, because that's an achievement as well. And I didn't write it down, but I added the 4th card, which will unlock construction, which will unlock another task that was previously unavailable, which is the Can You Fix It? Yes, You Can achievement, which requires willow planks, which I did not have access to unless I added this card. So card number 4 reads Plank Maker, Construction Shop, and House Portal in Remington. That's it. That's all I will have access to, and whatever I can do with those resources available. To unlock them, 110 wood cutting, 110 fletching. Seems a little low compared to this one, but I don't think construction is very game breaking. Alright, Slayer changes a lot of things, and so I think this is fair. It's still a very long grind, and if I do end up getting 5 pets, definitely not going to choose this, so I'm most likely grinding out the 110 and woodcut and fletching. But these are the updates, and as far as skill goes, mostly the same. 120 construction, because I am assuming construction update will be live before I finish, which means I will have to go up to 120. Rune crafting, wood cutting are using cards, and I have 1 card left, which will most likely go to archaeology. But if the Havenhythe expansions don't provide any meaningful content for archaeology worth using a card, I may just use the 5th card on something fun. I don't know, like a Raxer or War's Retreat, maybe. Potentially, that would be nice. But we'll see. permanently locked out skills. I am not giving myself the option to train these at all. Even if later on we get access to them through Havenhythe, the complexity in these skills, as far as the amount of overpoweredness that you get from these, will take the fun out of this challenge, and so I'm just not going to bother. These skills are permanently locked out for the rest of this challenge. Yeah, so that is my final update for this video. Really excited, having a lot of fun. I should start powering through a lot of these levels a bit faster now that I've worked out all the gritty details, and you guys will hopefully enjoy what's to come. Like I keep saying, any feedback is good feedback. Tell me what you guys think, and if anyone's doing a similar challenge, let me know. Reach out. We'll compare notes, talk about what hurdles you may be experiencing, and yeah, just join in the fun, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you guys in the next one.